Oh, good. Good, you've returned. Before we get back into the action and see how our adventurers are doing in my ever-changing dungeon, let's do a recap. We started the first episode with some introductions. 2 parties of 2. One party, a satyr and a hare. A strange group, if you ask me, and that's saying a lot coming from me. They found themselves quickly being introduced to Arthas Smoke, a lawyer that I completely, totally, absolutely remembered that I was renting a room out to. That is one way to start your trip into my dungeon. Not the most exciting, but a start nonetheless. Our other group, newlyweds, a bard and a warlock. As they emerged from that broom closet, they found themselves in a room slowly being overcome by fey foliage. We actually left with them as the dungeon began to come alive and make its way towards them. I wonder how that's going to go. Well, I've wasted enough of your time. Let's get back to it. Let's start with the satyr and the hare as they make their way towards a new room in the dungeon.
Okay, as you open the door, do you open it with like force or like gently? Like, how does Cicero, like, this is a weird character question, but like, how do you open doors?
I think Cicero kind of always opens the door expecting that like there will be friends on the other side.
Like he expects like so much.
he opens the door as if he's already been invited in, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so door flings open in a way, but like not in an angry way. And you are immediately met with a mine shaft, but this mine shaft, like pretty much every room, I'm going to say, is different than a normal mine shaft because everything in this dungeon is a little strange. The best way I can describe this mine shaft is it's incredibly dark in here, which I think, and I believe I'm right, you both don't have dark vision, correct?
I think so.
I do not.
Okay. So this incredibly dark mine shaft, and the only reason you know it is a mine shaft is because on the walls and on the ceiling, you see these incredibly small flowers. Like, when I say small, I'm saying just a little bit bigger than a quarter. In each of these flowers, you can see through the actual petals themselves. They're pretty translucent. And inside you see this very bright powder, like yellow powdery in it. And they are everywhere. It's almost like the walls and the ceiling of this mine are made out of the night sky itself. You also notice through this very small illumination that about 30 feet up, there are bridges, like bridging the mine shaft, going different ways. But you don't notice from your immediate glance like any like stairs or anything. Like if you were trying to get up there from this immediate look through, you would have to climb this wall. Along with that, there is a very specific humming coming from this room that you can kind of, with your passive perception, you can tell is coming from the flowers themselves, and it's this very, very uniform humming noise.
I would like to make some sort of check to see if these flowers are... I can tell if these flowers are dangerous. And okay. Cicero did grow up in an apothecary.
Absolutely. So, I'm going to say make a nature check with advantage. And I will say this is going to be a pretty easy check of like DC 10 for you because of your background.
Cool. First one was a nat 1. Second one was a 17. So
perfect. So, with a 17 hitting this DC by over 7, you look around and you're actually familiar with these flowers, because these flowers are actually native to the Feywild, and they're just called constellation flowers. And they're known for a couple things. First of all, their uniform humming that they make. But the thing that they're really known for is the powder inside, this very luminous powder that you are seeing light up this room. It also can be used as a inhaled drug effect that gives you very strong euphoria. About one of these flowers itself will give you about like 5 minutes of just super euphoria. But it is also known that it is incredibly dangerous if you inhale the powder of many of these flowers at the same time. You also know that humming is, in a way, keeping the flowers currently closed with the powder inside. There was an old tale in the Feywild that constellation flowers are somewhat cursed, which if you break that humming, you break that peace they're keeping, you will be hit with euphoria that will knock you into a coma that can last hundreds of years.
So picking one would be a bad idea.
Picking one would be fine if you do it safely, but there is a chance if you pick one that you might activate the others, which could be a problem.
I think Cicero I think Cicero definitely kind of repeats that oh, these are constellation flowers. They get you one hell of a high, in small doses, but larger can be a bit. And he, as he's saying this, does start to go to pick one and just looks at Harvey.
Harvey kind of grew up a little bit more refined with his family, a little bit more uptight in a way. He's like, well, mate, I know you like to have a good time, mate, but maybe we just save this room for later.
Yes,
make a mental note, and we'll come back.
Noted.
I really need to get my hands on some of those flowers. Anyway, let's go check on the newlyweds. They were in a pretty dire situation last time we left them, so let's see how they're doing now. Just a reminder of the situation Endora and Donovan find themselves in. Currently, Endora is standing face to face with a undead living creature made out of dungeon, while Donovan is standing back, observing a giant statue to me, the dragon.
And we will actually jump over to Donovan as you are having this moment. Donovan, what are you doing?
Oh, dear God. Yeah, split the party, Donovan. Split the party. Yeah, it's going to be fine. There's only 2 people in here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to take out my loot and just kind of strum it a few times and see what happens with the eyes.
Okay. Yeah, we'll say you do that a couple times, and you do notice that the eyes light up they light up more than the greetings in Draconic. It seems to be responding to the music.
All right, if it's a performance you want, well, who am I to... Before he starts going on, he's going to take a listen.
Are you listening to see if the statue is doing anything? Or are you more... what are you trying to listen for right now?
I'm checking on my wife. Because I know what she's capable of, and I know how much trouble she gets into.
I will say, at this point, with the 10 stealth check and your passive perception, I believe being 16, you can hear her moving, and it's not as stealthy as I think both of you would like. You can maybe hear some twigs breaking, maybe some cobblestone falling as she's slowly making her way over there. And we'll say maybe what you hear right now is, I guess, Endora, what do you do when you see this creature slowly move towards you? That will be the sound that Donovan hears.
She will address it in Sylvan and say, I'm sorry to disturb your slumber. And it comes out in fluent Sylvan.
Okay.
I know that.
Donovan, you hear that then? You hear what Endora just said.
Internal panic going on right now because I don't know if I move, this thing is going to destroy me because I'm not Fae. So I am going to take a minute.
Okay.
And I'm going to perform.
Okay.
With that being said, if I can continue this for a minute. Enthralling performance. Watched and listened. So I'm gonna play for 30 seconds first.
Okay.
Performance check +6.
Yeah, hit me with that.
Give me. That's a 26. That's a nat 20 +6.
Okay, whatever performance you were doing it to the best of your ability. It's okay, nat 20 easy. So I guess this is gonna be a very, like, if this was the movie, this is what would be happening right now. Like, this performance is happening into the background. And Dora, you say that in Sylvan to this creature. The creature does not respond, which tells you two things. Maybe it doesn't know Sylvan, or maybe it can't hear, because it is still slowly making its way towards you, but now with both of its hands outreached. With this performance happening in the background now.
Oh, good. He started the theme music already. Perfect timing. Is what she kind of like says under her breath as she draws steel and gets ready to hold the line, taking 2 steps back. And if it reaches her and tries to attack, she's going to have a readied action to smack it with a booming blade.
Perfect. Okay, yeah, you're holding that. It's moving. What performance is going on?
Donovan's nerves. It would start out extremely tense, but this is something that he does to relax himself. So it's first, like, the few, like, strums and stuff, they're very tense, and then it slows down into a very melodic, kind of a slow plucking, almost a lullaby, almost that slow.
Awesome. Okay, yeah, that you're playing that. This is happening in the background right now. And you're trying to keep that going for 30 seconds to start off with, right?
Mm-hmm. Is there anything happening with the dragon statue?
You are watching as the dragon statue, like, eyes, the blue eyes, are lighting up, like, more and more gradually as you are performing. Like, whatever the statue is, you have its attention right now.
I don't know if that's a good thing, but go ahead.
You don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. That's happening. The lights, the dragon eyes are lighting up. This creature's still moving towards you, Endora. And I will say, out of the corner of your eye, deeper within the prison, Endora, as you are sword ready to swing at this thing, you begin to notice another figure slowly moving towards you too. This one about twice the size of this knight, half tree creature with, like, vines and bark bursting through iron armor, about the same size iron armor that the person in the cell is wearing, but this creature is much bigger, almost like the plant life has expanded so much, making it grow, that it is, like, bursting through the armor and actually breaking the armor. And you see from the other end of this prison hallway, it is now making its way towards you as this lullaby is going on, as the dragon eyes are lighting up, as this thing is moving closer to you in the cells. You are holding your action. What are you going to do?
She is going to take her 30 move back.
Okay.
Still keeping her eye on the figures, and as soon as the one that is advancing, she's going to Eldritch Blast it. As soon as it breaches the door.
Okay, absolutely. So,
choosing violence because that seems the smartest option at this point. She tried the talking.
Yeah. Okay, so putting this together, in my mind, this is how this is going to work. We'll say the 30 seconds. This is the end of the song. End of the 30 seconds. You are playing. The lights are, like, now getting pretty bright, almost overwhelmingly bright, as you are backing up away from these two strange green knight type creatures moving towards you. Donovan, what are you staring at right now? Are you staring at the dragon statue, or are you staring at the two creatures coming currently towards both of you?
The musician in me, I'm not looking at anything because I'm performing.
Perfect. Okay. You are giving the performance of your lifetime, and as you are doing that, the lights get so bright that they start illuminating the room in this bright blue, which is slowly transcending into this bright white. And before both of you notice what is happening, this light envelops both of you until you are both standing in this completely white void. Up above is a storm. It's currently not raining, but you do see this large storm cloud kind of churning above, and you can see just a shadow of a creature moving around in it. And you hear, coming from that storm, booming throughout this white voice, "Greetings, adventurers."
All right, listen. That voice that Zach was doing there that is supposed to be me was definitely a choice. And there's a reason why I sounded like that then, and we'll find out in a bit. But first, back to the satyr and the hare.
I guess we go to check out the other door.
We'll go check out the other door.
You go from this very, like Feywild style mine shaft with all these flowers everywhere, this humming, and you return back to the 1920s law office. You head back down the hallway with all the artwork everywhere, and you find another double door with the dragon engraving on it.
Oh, double door.
You get one, I get the other?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. The door flings open with joy once again, but this time you are hit with an immediate sense of just coldness, like frigid air that you've probably never been hit this hard with this quick. As you look into this room, that is best described as an incredibly large oasis with a waterfall, but the waterfall and the oasis itself, this large pond, are completely frozen. And you see at the top of this dungeon room, which your room is kind of making it seem much smaller than it actually is. Like, this is almost like the size of, like, I'll say like a football stadium. Like, it's a huge room. You see this very large, jagged, like obsidian crystal up above. And then on the entire other side of the room, to the right a little bit, you see another pair of double doors, but this one has a giant, almost comically large keyhole, like almost like video game style. Like, you need a key that is like the size of your arm to open.
I don't know if I'd fit through there, man.
You could
think I might.
squeeze.
You think I could? Well, how would you get through though?
I'd probably find the key.
We would have to, eh? Well, all right. So we got ice, and we got flowers.
Yeah.
Ice and flowers. What are you feeling? A
Hmm.
big old rock on top.
I mean, we could probably. Do you think the key is in this room?
This feels like a bit of a game to you. Does this seem
A little
almost
bit.
too right? I mean, I feel like if it's a game, that'd be too easy.
I will say, as you guys are having this conversation, because you have wild passive perceptions, you do see on the other side of this pond, near the waterfall actually, you do see a very small creature that is very reminiscent of the description of the boggle that Arthas gave you. And you can see that this creature is slowly trying to make its way across the ice away from you guys as the door has been thrown open.
How far away is he?
From here, he's probably about 75 feet away from you guys, and 50 feet of that is like frozen pond.
Okay.
What to do?
I'm just gonna call out. I'm gonna say,
Yeah.
"Oh, you're playing hooky at your job, aren't you?"
And as you do that, you see the boggle completely freeze and slowly turn its head at you, and then you see it like go into a ball, trying to make itself look like a rock, which it's doing a very bad job at, especially because it's in the middle of a frozen pond. But you do see his little hat now. It's like one of those little like.
Hey, there's that.
It's like a newsboy hat. Like I don't know what those are. Like
the flat cap.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. His little flat cap on.
I guess we should. We told that loyal man we'd get him his bogle.
That's fair. Yeah. We should probably go tell him.
Oh, I was gonna go get him.
Oh, that's what I mean.
Yeah, cool.
We should probably go get him and take him back.
Yeah.
All right.
Because we start, I guess, very carefully walking across this frozen cavern.
Yeah, absolutely. So you start walking across this pond. Again, this room is incredibly cold. It wasn't just that burst of air. Like you find yourself shivering a little bit, seeing that you're Cicero, you're not wearing a shirt. So it's probably really cold in there. You move your way across. It's definitely difficult terrain here because this is ice. So you're gonna have to be moving pretty slow. You see the Boggle every once in a while is like lifting his head up and like looking at you, and then trying to still convince himself that him being a rock is working. You do notice some things, which I have to say this is great that you guys don't have to make perception checks every time you go somewhere new, just because your passive perception is 16 and 19. I can just tell you what's going on here. You notice a couple things. So first, this frozen waterfall is more than just a frozen waterfall. Behind it, it looks like it doesn't look like, because of your passive perception. You see there is a giant slumbering beast trapped behind this frozen waterfall. It has the face of a man with the mane of a lion and large leathery bat wings, and it's pretty big, probably the size of a car, as it is slumbering behind this waterfall, probably hibernating due to how cold it is in here. You also notice that the cold is coming from the crystal up above. Somehow this crystal is magically enhanced, and it is currently freezing this room. The last thing you notice is that this pond, even though it is frozen over, it is incredibly clear water. And about 100 feet down, this is like an incredibly deep pond, you do see a human skeleton holding a very comically large key.
Oh, found the key.
Hey, you're right. My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed too easy.
Are we within 30 feet of Boggle yet?
I will say absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just looking around at kind of all this stuff that's going around. I'm gonna just say to him, "Hey, Bogle, your friend Mr. Smoke told us to come and get you, so you should just come with us." And I'm gonna charm person.
Okay.
So wisdom saving throw 14. Okay. If he can be charmed, I suppose.
Yeah, let me look this up real quick. Because, let's see. Does that work on Fae?
I believe.
Or does it only work on humanoids? Or does it say creatures?
Oh. It's a humanoid. Yeah.
Okay.
Humanoid, correct.
I will say you use that towards the Boggle. How does your magic look when you cast it?
It kind of looks like it's like very naturey. Like it's like the fur on my legs kind of ruffle in the wind a little bit, even though there's no wind. You get like the scent of pine, and like I think with my when it's charm person, since it's all with my voice, there's like almost a bit of like bird song and like chirping and like crickets chirping or something that go along right behind it. You can barely hear.
Hell yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay, so yeah, you release that at the Boggle, and you do see like the Fae energy go around the Boggle like it should work, but it just kind of fades across its purple skin. And as you do that, it's going to immediately like pop its head up, eyes wide, look at both of you, kind of like get in like one of those like, oh, I don't know where I'm gonna go like stances, like left or right, and then turn around and run towards the waterfall with this creature behind it. And you see as the Boggle is running, it is like leaving this large puddle of oil behind it.
Are we still within like 30 feet of it?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll say
Okay.
like 30 feet, like as it starts moving. So like you have time to react if you want to try to catch it.
I was gonna say, can I use Mage Hand and try and like block the direction? Like have a large fuzzy bunny hand come and just try to block him in the way?
I like that. Yes, I'm going to make a we're gonna say intelligence check for the Boggle to see like if it like gets absolutely like terrified by this and like decides to go another way. This is going to be a d20 -2. Let's see where this Boggle is going. So this Boggle is knows how to use a typewriter. It's smarter than your normal Boggle. It's like sees your like hand and it like does a hurdle over it, but it does slip a little bit. And we'll say as it slips a little bit from jumping over the mage hand into oil, it does slide and hit the waterfall and make a noise. And then you do see the beast on the other side of the waterfall like move, open a little bit of its open its eye just a bit. But the Boggle is completely still. But you can see whatever this beast is behind this frozen waterfall is now a little awake, and it's kind of checking out what's going on.
Oh, that Boggle. Someone's gonna have to start making plushies of them, like, pretty soon. Anyway, seems like they're in a pretty icy situation. But let's get back to the newlyweds. And more importantly, let's get back to my debut.
So, as you guys are standing in this white void, storm raging, you hear, once again, "Hello, adventurers. I haven't been greeted by a song yet. That was a welcome change of pace."
Well, you've been raging around in a storm, and are you the one responsible for our current predicament?
In a way, we're all responsible for what is happening here. Would you not be here if you did not wish to slay me?
Immediately turned to Endora. It's like, this is what they always do. Everyone in power always blames it on everybody except taking responsibility.
I mean, that's a fair.
It's true.
That's fair.
It's true, but it... Why are you wanted? What's with the storm?
I mean,
What is all of this?
what is the fun in just revealing all that at first? You know, there has to be some type of build-up. There has to be the suspense, the hero's
you know
journey.
what? You know what? Also, Donovan. Introductions are in order. Hello. I'm not
Hold
sure
on.
of your name.
Wait.
I'm Endora,
No.
Endora Tealeaf. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Yes, you're part of the Fae world. You're part of the Fae. It doesn't matter. I am going to withhold my name because I don't know what the Fae can and cannot do to me.
Fair. Very fair enough. They just call me
But
the
I'm a
Dragon
bard.
in the Storm.
Oh, pleasure, Dragon of Storms. I'm
I don't know how to respond to this right now. Most people have reacted in hostility tonight, if we're being honest. Except another two, but they also seemed like they were just in it for a good time.
well.
Was one of them a bard? I'm so sorry. They gave us a bad name.
I don't actually think so. They seemed fun, though, so there was that.
Was one a barbarian? Because just trust me, you don't. It's a bad time from what I hear. The Dragon's End.
I don't know. They had a small creature with them that was wearing a hat. That's all I can really remember, if we're being honest.
Oh dear God, I remember them.
Well,
yes.
to be honest, I did take up the quest, but I don't feel like slaying was necessarily a promise.
No.
Just a mutually beneficial solution for the town, so that they don't become popsicles. You can see my concern. Not everything has to end with blades. Although,
mean-
if it does,
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's more fun that way, right?
it really is. But I'd like to at least be pleasant about it. It doesn't have to be hostile. It doesn't have to be personal. It doesn't have to be, anything grand. It can be, but just business. But I'd like to find a solution that is mutually beneficial for all involved.
Wait, hold on.
Reasonable, actually. Very, very reasonable takes here. This has been a... Sorry, I've been trying to do this whole sinister thing, and it's not been like the last people were just like, oh, hey, what's going on? You guys are just kind of like, hey, what's up? It's kind of really disorienting to me right now, but yes, go ahead.
Did you want to fight?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, a little bit of me wanted to fight. I mean, I am the dragon of storms in the storm. I mean, I do make a big fuss, but like, there was just a lot of you.
This is very true. There were a whole lot of adventurers in that tavern, which is very strange that there would be a lot of little groups
I don't
hired to do this job.
I mean, who's to say? But
Would you
anyway,
mind showing yourself?
No, I'm quite comfortable where I am.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable at all. Is it about 120 feet away from me?
The storm will say it's probably... You're in a weird void. It's probably like 80 feet, we'll say. So sure.
Cool. Dispel magic.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't worry. None of that one. I rolled a 16 on the die.
Okay, so that what is your modifier?
Plus 3, so it's a 19.
Okay. All right. Cool. I love it. We will say this is almost like Wizard of Oz in a bit. As you cast the spell magic. First of all, how does your spellcasting look? What does this look like when you do this?
I mean, he's just kind of looking up at this thing and going, you know what? I don't like that. Snaps his fingers.
Yeah, so we'll say, you watch as the clouds disappear, the storm clouds disappear, and there is no creature up there, but kind of standing about 100 feet from you guys, you can see a... How do I want to describe this?
Oddly, we ruined this.
We did.
You did not. This is what I love. You see a half-goat person with horns. You can see that they're a satyr, if any of your characters are familiar with a satyr. You see a satyr that's about 10 feet tall, a very tall satyr, who was playing a pan flute, making this happen. And as the storm disappears, you see that there's that awkward moment where you all lock eyes. And you see, alright, well, there goes that. Hi, how's it going?
Please tell me your name is Jeff. You look like a Jeff.
No, it's actually here, Sam.
Here, Sam?
Here, Sam. Listen, we can just, sometimes you're just really into playing the pan flute, and you don't notice that the bard is dispelling your magic. But don't worry, these adventurers still have a long journey through my dungeon. This is just a minor step back for me. In the end, I always win. But anyway, back to the satyr and the hare.
I whisper to Harvey, this is why they say don't go chasing waterfalls, I think.
I think you're right. I'm just gonna be kind of froze in the position.
Yeah. As soon as there was that loud noise, just
don't move a bit.
Okay, you guys just completely still.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just gonna see what
I
happens.
think are we? Is Boggle within 30 feet of us still, or has he gone outside of that?
I will say after that run and you guys not moving, he's probably about 40 feet now. So just
Okay.
out of that 30 feet range.
Cool. I will then, just for the two of us, I'm gonna cast Pass Without a Trace on me and Harvey.
Okay, so okay, great. Yep.
Yeah. Again, there's that kind of like ruffling of the fur, but now it's kind of like almost like the shadow of you go into like a shaded glen in the forest kind of passes over us. Like there's like the light going through trees, kind of going over us, and then just fey darkness.
Yeah, I love it. So what we're gonna do right here is, because you guys have that Pass Without Trace, I'm gonna have you both make stealth checks. But I'm also going to make Boggle make a stealth check against this creature's passive perception to see what is going on. Boggle has actually a +6 in stealth. So
And that's a +10 to your stealth check.
yes, yep. Pass Without Trace is, yep, you guys get that +10. Yeah,
so it's
and
a
then
36.
you look you are just like
Turn into a rock.
Yeah, exactly. Like you look like you're just like an icicle at this point. Just all right. What did Harvey get?
22.
Okay, and Boggle has a 13. Got a 13. So as of this moment, the creature goes back to sleep, closes its eye. It's a little like more attentive now, knowing what's going on, and like a little like has a little bit more of its attention. It's not in that deep sleep anymore. But at this moment in time, the beast is not outwardly looking for anyone. At this point, the Boggle is going to slowly turn around with his hand still up, look at both of you, and slowly start inching towards that other door.
The door with the key, or
the door with the like key. Yeah.
hole.
The keyhole.
Yep, keyhole, yes. Thank you.
I bet you he can fit. Oh, jeez.
He looks rather slippery.
I have a feeling he's gonna fit.
We're just gonna start also just inching.
the slowest chase sequence in D&D happens as all of you slowly make your way across this like frozen pond with this beast beyond this waterfall towards this door. Okay, this is what we're gonna do here. We're gonna do a skill challenge. For those who aren't familiar with skill challenges, is what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say out of 5 rolls, you need to have 2 successes to capture the Boggle. But if you get 3 failures, the Boggle is going to get to this door. It's a pretty easy skill challenge because this Boggle is not moving that fast. But I would like to know what you guys are doing, and how we're going to decide the checks is you're going to tell me what you're going to do, and then we're going to decide what check you're going to make, and then I'll set a DC for it. So slow motion as you guys move across the pond. Boggle slowly, like crab walking as you guys are slowly going across it. Very cold. Who's making the first move to try to catch up to this Boggle? Because at this point, if you don't try to do anything drastic, it is going to beat you there.
We were just talking about it. I'm gonna leap. I'm gonna do like a running leap. So like I guess like in athletics.
Yeah, we'll say athletics check. We're gonna set this as a DC. We'll say DC 10, but I'm gonna give you advantage on this. The DC 10 is because you are leaping on ice and trying to be stealthy at the same time. But advantage because you can leap like 1,000,000 miles in the air because you're because of being a satyr. So go ahead and we'll say athletics.
Since I'm half his size, would it affect him if he was to either grab me or I jumped on with him to go with him? Would that affect anything?
If I could scoop him up.
Like, as I mean,
yeah,
like,
I'll say that's totally fine. Yeah, that's not going to change anything. Yeah, that's totally fine.
Okay.
Okay, so athletics check, a DC 10 with advantage.
Okay, with advantage, cool.
Yeah.
And I add a D8 when determining.
Yeah.
What is it? It's like.
Oh, that's only to add to like,
add to the distance.
So yeah, this is just going to be a check. So
Okay. It's a 19 then.
Yeah. So I will let me know how this looks. I'll say like You are right now like about 40 feet from the Boggle, and this jump is going to get you 20 feet closer as you leap across this pond. What does that look like as you grab Harvey?
I think, yeah, we're doing that kind of like slow-mo, like creeping along, as tiptoeing through the tulips, as it were. And
Yes.
I just kind of, I think I maybe see Boggle like almost like flinch a little bit as if he's about to start to run. And I just, like with one hand, like scoop up Harvey in like a practice routine, and then just kick a hooved foot down and just leap forward. And maybe like slide on the ice a little bit as I land.
Yeah. Boom, you're right there.
Yeah.
You guys are now 20 feet away. The Boggle sees this, and kind of you see, like, again, eyes widen, just like, oh no, shit. The Boggle is going to start, like, moving quicker, but you see it's like, his feet are, like, sliding back and forth as he's trying to go faster, almost like he's on a treadmill. But you are going to watch as the Boggle, or you can react, opens a small dimensional rift and goes 10 feet farther. Just
So he's 30 feet from us?
yeah, he's now 30 feet. You got closer, and like another jump like that will definitely get you closer. But you did just see this the Boggle probably like rips apart reality in front of him and just like whoosh, like appears 10 feet farther, which is like who knew he could do that.
Okay. Can I, as soon as he comes out of that other side or there, can I use Mage Hand again to try to trip him?
Absolutely, we're going to do. Would you say that your magic, when you cast it, is more, because you're an Eldritch Knight, do you think it is more in line with like nature or like arcane, like when you cast it?
With Harvey's background, probably a little bit more arcane.
Okay.
Most of his nature stuff has come from Cicero, so yeah, his training's a little bit more arcane.
Okay, what we'll do for this then is we will do a DC 10 Arcana check, just to see like if you can push yourself to like get this Mage Hand to look a little bit more solid than last time, because you saw the Boggle could kind of see through it. So we'll say DC 10 Arcana check.
Okay. So with that is a 15.
15? Okay, perfect. The Boggle rips through the dimension, probably like looks back and laughs at you, like, I'm getting away, and then just like immediately runs into the Mage Hand, and we'll say he like falls back and slips, even though it's not a physical thing in front of him. Like he thinks he's about to hit a wall, and he falls back and slips and slides like 5 feet closer to the door, but this time he's struggling. You guys have 2 successes out of the 3 you need. What is going to be the final step to catch this Boggle?
Harvey's still somewhat in my arms, and I'm just gonna look at him and say, "Care for a bit of teamwork?" And I'm just gonna try and slide Harvey across the ice.
Yeah, I was going to suggest that. I was going to suggest
We're
that.
curling. We are curling with bunnies.
Yes. Okay. So I'm gonna put this up to you guys to decide. This is either gonna be an acrobatics check by Harvey or an athletics check, by Cicero.
Which I have. He said acrobatics for
you,
Harvey?
and yep.
Okay, I got a +9 for acrobatics. So
Well, I have a +5, so we'll do yours.
okay.
All right, so this is gonna be another DC 10 easy skill check. This Boggle is really struggling right now. DC 10 acrobatics check. You literally need a 1 or higher. So like this is already a pass. Like let's just see for style wise, like how this is gonna like how well you can pull this off.
Okay, so I rolled a 9 +9, so
18. How does this look? How does this rabbit curling work right here to get this Boggle? How does this look?
all right. So Cicero, you describe the throw, and I'll explain the finish.
I think like from the jump I did, we're still sliding a little bit, as like Harvey did the Mage Hand, and so I think I used just some of that momentum and just kind of reached back and just as like I put Harvey down, just pushed him along the ice.
Perfect. And just skating across this ice as you make your way. You reach out as this Boggle is like squirming, trying to get up, and you just 2 arms wrap yourself around it, and you just why?
Oh, I love that. Okay, so Harvey's gonna wrap around him, and try and like kind of hold him down and be like, "You're not going anywhere."
Why?
I will like catch up to them at this point, I guess.
I think you got a bit of a job to do.
Do you get paid time off, Boggle?
No.
What are your benefits? Dental?
None.
Do you have
that's not
teeth?
very fair.
I
Now,
guess
is
I
it?
can't tell.
I get hat.
That's a good benefit.
I mean,
It's
I
better
don't
than
have
a
a hat.
401k.
You have a hat? I don't have a hat.
Yeah. I mean,
Listen,
that
how
is
about
valid.
we're gonna take you back to Mr. Smoke, but I think we could have a talk with him about maybe, you know, how all work and no play makes boggle.
Boggle.
Maybe a bit of time off. Maybe an espresso machine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What? Where were you going anyway?
I don't know. I mean,
Oh.
who knows? Somewhere?
It's somewhere's better than nowhere.
Yeah.
As you guys are having this conversation on the pond, you begin to notice almost like someone has taken an eraser to the dungeon, but in your peripherals. Like you slowly begin to notice that someone is slowly washing away the dungeon around you, and you really begin to notice when the walls are gone and you're just surrounded by complete whiteness, other than the pond frozen as you're holding this boggle.
Well, I don't think I can mess up my introduction twice. We'll have to see you next episode. Until then, be excellent.